Alabama 90, Illinois 86. Back and forth game, entertaining game for much of this. But Alabama got the job done. Learon Phylon starred late, but starred the whole game, really. 24 points on 18 shots. He made 50% of his shots from the floor, hit three threes, five assists to one turnover. Only played 25 minutes due to foul trouble, but when he was on the court, he was the best player on the court and just a dominant force. Although Andre Stoyakovich has an argument that he was every bit as good, 26 points for him in 30 minutes, 11 for 16 from the floor, did have five turnovers to zero assists. I have some thoughts on all things Andre right now, but you can't take away how unstoppable his scoring prowess was in this game. To me, this was really just a high level game. I mean, I know I predicted Illinois to emerge victorious and even create some separation. I thought they had chances to do that. But I kind of said this in the preview. Like, if Alabama earns this one, I don't think it's going to shift my worldview much on Illinois. And it really hasn't. I still think Illinois is really good. I think Alabama clearly corrected some things coming off of that Purdue performance with a week to sit on it. And I thought Alabama played really well. This is an Alabama team that nobody wants to play, and any given night can beat you. By the way, let's give some credit to Keaton Bristow, who
Yeah.
Brad Underwood said in the postgame was the difference in the game. His Alabama debut, and he had 8 rebounds, 10 points in 20 minutes. Thought he totally changed things in the front court from a physicality, from an effort standpoint for Bama. Brad Underwood agreed. He said it at the podium. Bristow was the difference. So I guess broadly, Card, do you agree with me that there's not really much to freak out about this? You can be disappointed in the loss, but to me, this was just tip your cap to Alabama. They earned this one.
I mean, I don't know. I feel discombobulated, disinterested in this. No, this is how we're going to approach this. This is a very high level game between two really good teams, and I think that there's things that you can look at for both teams that I think got them across the finish line in Alabama's case, and things you look at Illinois where you're like, okay, there's some areas that clearly can be improved on that would have helped you win this basketball game. But it was a back and forth game. The end of the first half was so fun to watch. How everyone just ignored the college 3-point line and shot 4 feet behind the NBA line. That was a lot of fun to watch. Phylon down the stretch was extremely fun. He had a 9-0 run by himself in closing time, which was special. And you brought up the Bristow performance. I want to bring that up too, because also like I saw the announcer bring it up. He was clearly like hobbled too. Like he was hobbled and he was still giving elite effort, elite minutes in his Alabama debut, 10 and 8 in 20 minutes off the bench. I mean, Alabama as a team, I think bench points wise, outscored Illinois 32 to 17. Amari Allen was good off the bench. Houston Millett was also good off the bench in his minutes as well. So, in a game with a lot of fouls being called and foul trouble both ways for both teams, I think that the depth from Alabama actually showed in this basketball game, and I didn't necessarily see that happening. And we'll get more deeply into it, but Illinois feels like probably they let one slip in this game, given kind of the matchup advantages that we talked about coming into the game, and you know we expected them to just completely out rebound Alabama. And to Alabama's credit, they responded in this basketball game. Them losing the rebounding battle by two feels like a massive win, given what they were going up against in Illinois. So a lot of credit goes to Alabama for this win, while at the same time, if you're Illinois, you're like, damn, I left a lot out there.
Yeah, yeah, just one of those ones where, as a fan, I think you're kicking yourself in like, damn, we had chances here. I noticed it around the end of the first half, and this game was very spurty. There were like 4 minute stretches where no one could miss on either side, and then there were like 4 minute stretches of no one could make on either side, which is kind of just Alabama basketball. That's Nate Oates' ball, and especially with a team that likes to play fast like Alabama does, you can kind of just get in that flow state. But I thought in the end of the first half, I had the conscious thought Illinois was up like two. And I remember sitting there being like, they're going to kick themselves. They didn't create more separation. I thought
Mhm.
it took Alabama a little bit to get going in this game. And by the end of the first half, Alabama could have been down 10. Illinois had some chances early to really assert their will physically. David Mirkovich was great in the first half, and then a total ghost in the second half. We'll get to that. But to me, that moment in the real minute of it was like, shit, I can kind of
It,
feel where this is headed, you know?
it was like and it's early on, so you don't want to say that's the reason. But I think Illinois went up 10, like just under the first like 16 media timeout, maybe, or like closer to 12
Their
minutes.
largest lead was 9, 7 minutes into this game. It was
So right
19.
around that point, I was like, okay, good run, good minutes. Now this is kind of where, when you're playing Alabama, it's like that, right? The way they shoot threes, the way they shoot shots, but they weren't getting good shots at the time. And I was kind of like, all right, if Illinois might step on them right here, and they didn't necessarily. I mean, and I think some credit goes to Alabama. They know what they do best, man. They know what they do best. They're gonna shoot threes and they're gonna try to get to the hoop for layups, and they got them up.
Yeah, they stayed with it. Stay with the game plan. They always do. I think was it you who tweeted or sent in the Discord like how fun would it be to be an Alabama player?
I like honestly, for real. Like it's just all you do. You just get to shoot freely.
I'm kind of stunned they don't get more elite recruits. And trust me, they get a lot of them. But like I'm kind of surprised every year they're not getting like a John Calipari level class.
Yeah, like how we talk about like, oh, I want to play in this system. I want to be a guard. I want to be a Calipari guard. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing we say all the time. Shit, I would love to be a Nate Oates player and or guard.
Yeah.
They all just get to shoot.
Anything, truly, any spot on the floor. Yeah, we I always say this year, but we're making a concerted effort to spend the beginning of each recap on the winning team. We're gonna do that in this game, but just broadly from an Illinois standpoint, before we get to all of their stuff later in this recap, I thought they they didn't do the two things I thought profile wise were guarantees in this game. And if you
Mhm.
go back, rewind to the preview, I kind of mentioned I came into the preview with you thinking this was a spot for Alabama. Like my gut was like Alabama's had a week to sit on a disappointing loss at home. I know they're good. They're going to show up. They're going to. Illinois is like not healthy, still working a lot of guys back in and has really looked awesome thus far. Probably due for not their best game. Like that was how I framed it in my head coming in. Should have trusted my gut, but as we talked through the preview, I just thought matchup wise, who these teams are profile wise, two things were guarantees. Thing number one, I thought Illinois would dominate the boards. They didn't. This was 40 to 38 on the boards. Honestly, I'm surprised Illinois won by 2. Like there were moments in this game where they were behind on the boards. They kind of cleaned it up late, but I really, really just thought Alabama held up way better there than they did against Purdue. I think pretty clearly Bristow had a say in that. 8 rebounds in 20 minutes off the bench was noteworthy for sure. But
Mhm.
also even just the guys who have been on this team. Amari Allen, a freshman, had 11 rebounds in this game.
Right. 6'8" freshman at that. Like that
Yeah.
honestly, like I brought like the bench points I talked about, like from the bench alone. It's not like the starters were rebounding. I mean, Nate Oates called out his starting front court after last game and said, y'all got out rebounded by a point guard. Bowen gave you 3 rebounds in this game. Aiden Sherrill in limited minutes because of foul trouble, only 9 minutes, had 2 rebounds. Meanwhile, you get 19 total rebounds from Amari Allen and Bristow in this game.
Yeah, it was really impressive. And it passes the eye test too. When you watch this game, it's like, wait a second. Alabama's supposed to be getting punked on the boards. They're not. And to Illinois, like all I would say is this Illinois still crashed the offensive glass really hard. They got
Mhm.
14 offensive rebounds. That was really good. But they were supposed to dominate the defensive boards too. I don't really think they did that in this game. And that was miss number one from me in terms of what I thought would happen. It didn't happen. Miss number two, I think I said explicitly point blank, Illinois is going to win the free throw discrepancy. Not at all. And free throw shooting was a huge reason they lost this game, but they also shot one less free throw than Alabama did. Now, part of that is because Illinois missed a bunch of one and ones. If they make the front end, they probably end up shooting like 30 plus free throws in this game.
Mhm.
So I don't know how much my scout on this was wrong versus just Illinois, who is normally a good free throw shooting team, couldn't make them. Um, but again, like on the profile, Alabama's not a team that gets to the free throw line. They shot 23 free throws in this game.
Yeah.
So they did the two things I just flat out said they couldn't do. I think you give Alabama credit for it. At the same time, if you're giving Alabama credit for being better on the boards a week after Trey Kaufman-Renn destroyed them on the boards, and giving Alabama credit for getting to the free throw line a ton when that's not something they ever do, I think you also kind of got to point the finger at Illinois a little. Like I, some of these foul calls were a little iffy to me, but
Mm.
they were handsy. They could not stay in front, I thought, of the perimeter threats on Alabama. And then on the boards, it just was not the most inspired Illinois performance.
Yeah, look, I think as far as refereeing, I think both ways there was a lot of touch fouls both ways, to be honest with you. But at the same time, I think a good amount of Illinois fouls were because they were a step slow.
Mhm.
They were a step slow, truly. And whether it was Phylon coming off a ball screen, and credit to Nate Oates, I thought the ball screening stuff was really good because what they did is they basically kind of took out Kylan with the screen, and then whichever one of the other four kind of got switched on to Phylon, Phylon just attacked him and went at him and put pressure on him at the hoop more so than even from 3-point range. And um, yeah, I just thought that they did a great job of putting pressure on Illinois. And to your point too, in the second half, Alabama out rebounded Illinois. So it's like even them being within two, you got to like put that on the Illinois scale from what Bama did the last game. It's crazy rebounding performance from them.
Yep, 100%. So, yeah, from my perspective, I just wanted to kind of like close the loop on that because I was kicking myself as this played out of like, this really was an Alabama spot game. And I feel like I sniffed that out and suspected it, and they did come out inspired. And then they just, I ultimately, the schematic stuff I thought was guaranteed to be advantage Illinois was not. It was neutralized. And that's hand up. I was wrong. You've been right a lot this week. I've been wrong a lot this week. I got to come to terms with that.
I picked Illinois.
You did. You were right about something in the flow of this game that we'll talk about a
Well,
little bit later.
also, um, I just gotta say it once again, the Phylon's nuts.
Yeah,
That dude's so good, man.
I think he's definitely the best player in the SEC, right?
Not to quickly, yeah,
We came in saying it was
right.
Oweh. It could be one of the Florida bigs, but that's
One of the Tennessee guys, if Gillespie gets a gun, but like it's
Phylon's
it's it's
different.
Phylon, man.
He's what I thought Tahad Pettiford would be.
Dog, he's crazy.
He's really good.
His finishing is crazy. The closing ability is really good. I thought especially because honestly, in the first half, credit to Illinois, I thought they did a great job on him. He was 2 for 6 in the first half. Like, I had the two fouls as well, only limited to 9 minutes, but he turned it up at closing time in the second half. Like it
Yeah.
was, I mean, he had 19 in the second half alone.
He's had some insane performances this year now. 25 and 3 assists to one turnover against St. John's, 24 and 5 assists to one turnover here against Illinois. Honestly, to the Purdue fans hate watching this, I know there's a few of you. The biggest resume thing you can hold up is that you guys held up well against Phylon defensively. If anyone wants
Yeah.
to criticize Purdue's perimeter defense, just point to that because two really, really good athletic teams have not been able to contain Phylon, and he was sensational. I, let's just do it. If we're talking Phylon's performance now, I feel like I can pivot into this side of it. A week ago, we called Kylan Boswell the best perimeter defender in the country.
hmm
Doesn't the best perimeter defender in the country have more to say against Learon Phylon than this? I mean, I understand he was in foul trouble, but he was in foul trouble because he could not contain Learon Phylon.
Yeah, I think a couple things. He was in foul trouble. I also thought, like I said, I thought Alabama did a pretty good job of it when Bozo was guarding Phylon. They did a pretty good ball screen and they were switching. And once they switched, it kind of threw things off a little bit in that sense. But yeah, I mean, when you look at it though, you expect Boswell, I think, to be better defensively and kind of neutralize what Phylon was able to do. But also at the same time, I guess one thing I did point out, I was like sometimes better O, like good D, better O.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably too early to like decipher this. We're still figuring out what like a Cam Crocker Illinois defense looks like. We'll say this, my biggest pet peeve with Illinois' defense last year was that they let teams dictate the matchups they wanted too much, right? Like they would switch Kylan off of guys and live with like Humrickhouse and Kasparis on guys, and that was food, and it killed them at times. And I guess this is just me selfishly. I don't know if it's scheme. I don't know if they'll change it. I don't know what, but selfishly to me, when you have a player of Phylon's caliber who's clearly going off, and you have a defender of Kylan's caliber, you can't switch. You can't like allow that to just like you
Right.
can't let you,
They were
why?
doing that they were doing that drop, and he was coming off just staring at Big Z or Merck or Rickhouse or anybody.
It's just
Um,
it's not using your quote unquote elite perimeter defender to be a stopper on the best scorer in the country. I don't get it.
right. Also, like even outside of Kylan too, there's been a lot of talk about Stoyakovich as the defender. I thought he was bad in this basketball game.
He got beat downhill to the right hand like seven times.
Like
Yeah.
badly, and just like look confused on defensive assignments, like where they switching, where they trying to. It just did not look what's the word? Didn't look connected. Didn't look on the same page on the defensive end.
Yeah, I think it's the first moment this year Illinois has looked like a disconnected group, which shouldn't be all that surprising. They are a disconnected group. It's still freshmen mixed with Petrovic, who's practiced 3 times making his debut, mixed with like T in and out of the lineup. He's not even like practicing, mixed with like it's just a group that hasn't played together. So it
Hmm.
shouldn't be surprising that there are growing pains with that. Even Andre was like unavailable for most of the offseason. So yeah, I'm with you though. To me, I watching this game at least, I know Andre is a great defender. Andre was not a great defender in this game. There was no rim protection. We'll talk about Big Z at some point. Really, it just felt like they've got this one elite perimeter defender in Kylan who was like half the time not even on the right guy. And when he was on the right guy, I thought he was getting torched too or getting in foul trouble. So, all in all, like this is just me saying, whatever the scheme was, fine. If Kylan is going to be what we said he was a week ago, that's an unacceptable answer for me. Like, oh, he switched off Phylon as Phylon went to 2024 and won the game and scored 9 straight late. Like, no, use your elite perimeter defender to contain that. They didn't do
Hmm.
that. And to me, that's a problem. Anything else on Bama? I mean, outside of Phylon, it really was just like a bunch of complimentary performances here. They had 4 other guys in double figures. Bull Bowen hit a couple threes.
Yeah, so I did see this, and I was interested to get your thoughts on it. There was a couple people out there saying that was an A+ Bama game.
No.
I thought it was like a B- Bama game. I thought Holloway was off for most of the game. I don't know. Like I didn't think that was necessarily a godly performance from Alabama, but also like Alabama's a good basketball team, and I think they just got timely moments from everybody. Whether it was Bristol, whether it was Amari Allen, shit. They threw in even threw in like Hannah, and he had some quiet little moments here and there. But they just had guys step up, and then it got to closing time, and it was I have LeBaron Philon and you don't.
I think I'd call it an A Bama performance. And maybe that's a little over complimentary. But to me, checking the boxes, they were great on the boards for what they are.
That's
They
true.
they got to the free throw line a lot more than usual and made them. Their star starred. They shot well overall. I think it's an A. I don't think this was like lights out. A plus Bama is like they shoot 50% from three and you can't do anything. That didn't happen. And on that point, credit to whoever made the decision in the United Center staff to leave the NBA 3-point line on the court. That was cracking me up because guys
Yeah.
we were
E-
shooting NBA threes the whole
Everyone,
game.
I saw people tweeting like, "Take it away." No, I love it. Leave it. It's great.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
one cared.
Right. And look, I think this was the real story of the game, and we haven't gone down the path yet. We're about to go deep down the path. But the real story of this game was that Nate Oates had a game plan that I think completely stymied the Illinois attack. And I think this might be the way to contain Illinois. I'm
Mm.
monitoring. We'll see if other teams can replicate it. Easier said than done. But to me, the story of this game was 100% Alabama's defensive approach to switch everything and basically force Illinois into playing one-on-one matchup hunting iso ball. Now, what we have seen, which I agree with, by the way, if a team is going to play that way, Brad Underwood seems to believe the approach here is to play booty ball through whatever matchup they like on a possession by possession basis. And usually the matchup they like most is Andre Stoyakovich. Andre was amazing in this game. Like truly, Andre had an A plus game. Maybe A game if you want to criticize the 5 turnovers of the defense, but like offensively, scoring wise, he's 11 for 16. He makes 2 threes. Other than leaving some points at the free throw line, he was Illinois' entire offense.
Mm.
Um, now, this is a really nuanced, difficult conversation to have because a week ago I was arguing that the Illinois offense operates at a higher level without Andre Stoyakovich. I realized that sounds really stupid after a game like this. I am not advocating that we bring Andre off the bench. He's great and you have to play him. But I think I have been proven at least somewhat correct here that the version of the Illinois offense that is just Andre dribble, dribble, hunting tough scoring ISO shots is a much less dangerous version of the Illinois offense. And that's essentially to me what Nate Oates deciphered and said that's our game plan. Like the entire defensive approach from Alabama here was we will live with one-on-one scoring. We know that offensively we are going to get wide open threes every possession. If you want to beat us with Andre Stoyakovich making 70% of his twos versus us shooting wide open threes, we will play that math game out. And I think they did. Again, give Andre credit. Andre was amazing, but I don't think that's the offense Illinois should want. I just don't. And I think there are at least some people who agree with me. Our boy Christian Ojakjian was at this game and was live tweeting from the United Center a little bit. I'm going to read a tweet from him in the second half. He said, as good as Andre Stoyakovich is, and yes, he's absolutely cooking right now, Illinois shouldn't be leaning so heavily on him. They have too many good players to play this way. Listen, I think it's a totally reasonable minded opinion to disagree with what I'm saying here. Andre did everything he could to power this team to a win. But I'm telling you right now, Nate Oates was ecstatic that this turned into Andre tough twos versus Alabama wide open threes, despite Andre making them. That was the plan. It was executed flawlessly, and Alabama created separation as Illinois leaned heavier and heavier into Andre in the second half. And mixed in between his incredible scoring was him getting to the free throw line and missing free throws because he's not a good free throw shooter, was him turning the ball over a couple empty possessions because he has tunnel vision and cannot pass. Like, you just will live with that. It is a less dynamic version of the Illinois offense, even when Andre is unstoppable, than it is when Merck is passing and Big T is healthy and passing and guys are making shots. Now, the counterpoint to this, I'm kind of playing devil's advocate with myself. The counterpoint to this is that the open threes Illinois did get in this game, they missed. I
Yeah.
hear that. I understand that.
Can I add to that counterpoint?
You can.
I also think that this would have been easier for them to come off if it wasn't what was working at the time. Like at the
Sure.
time, I thought that Illinois straight up was missing layups, whether it was Boz, whether it was Merkovich, Big Z, Big T, they were smoking layups.
100%.
And that hurt.
100%.
And but to your point, and sorry, I'll let you go, but when you are guarding Stoyakovich, it is sometimes easier to guard a player when you know he's not going to pass. In an ideal world, this would have been like, oh my God, you're gonna switch Aiden Holloway or LeBaron Phylon on David Merkovich. Amazing. I'm gonna throw it into Merk. Merk go make the right play. And 9 times out of 10, he will go do that.
which
But
is what they
that
did in the first half. And
right.
I'm not even saying the Illinois offense was like much better in the first half. They had 42 at half. They had 11 points in the first 10 minutes of the second half. The
Yeah.
first 10 minutes of the second half were like largely Andre, do whatever you
Well,
want to
I
me.
was in the Discord in the game and I was like, if Nate Oates is gonna switch, credit the Nate Oates for doing that. But you gotta make him pay for switching.
Yeah.
I watched way too many times in this game, and I know that Merck was off in the second half. I really do not care. The fact that they wanted to switch Holloway on him or switch a Phylon on him is insane. He should have touched it every time. There was one where Keaton Wagler took a mid-range jumper, and I legit wanted to come through my TV screen.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Now listen, again, just to conclude my devil's advocate thought here, I totally see the other side of this. I think it's all correlated, connected to each other here. Um, the side of this that says, well, what else were we supposed to do? Merck was terrible, Wagler was off, Humrickhouse couldn't make a shot, Big Z was missing. It's all true. Illinois' other non-Stoyakovich players need to convert their open looks if you're not going to lean heavily into this. What I would say is this: they were really good shots. I did not feel that any of those other shots that were generated when they weren't playing Andre iso ball were bad. Humrickhouse missed some open threes. Merck blew a wide open layup. Big Z blew a touch on the block. Like even Kylan, who ended up with 22, was 0 for 4 on what I thought were largely wide open threes. Um, I if your approach here is like, oh, we're missing those, we don't want those shots because we're missing those. I just totally disagree with it. I totally disagree with it. And I understand like the hardest part of this is we're coming off a year last year where Illinois couldn't shoot as a team. And we would come after games and Brad would be like, I love the shots. And by the end of the year, everyone was like, no, we don't love the shots. We can't shoot. I think we're kind of applying that logic to this team. And I don't think we should. This team can shoot. This team got really good shots, including layups when they were utilizing the size and skill and playing a game of basketball that everyone was involved in. And they just missed them. Sometimes that happens. But to me, I think it stagnated more the more they leaned into Andre. And one thing I would say, when you got guys like Humrickhouse or Merck who kind of missed a couple shots early in the second half, when you kind of go away from them, they're not going to get back in rhythm. Like, do we really think it's a total coincidence that like simultaneously everyone on Illinois besides Andre had a stinker half at the same exact moment? Or do we think like maybe everyone got out of rhythm because they were all standing and watching a guy that they know isn't going to kick out to them dribble 17 times a possession? Like, and what I would say, maybe I'm being harsh on it. I probably am. Kylan was the one guy who like seemed to still stay within the flow of this. Kylan's a Twinsky, dog. Like Kylan gets energized watching Andre do his thing. I thought everybody else on the Illinois team kind of mentally checked out. Because it was just like, oh, we've decided Andre is going to win or lose us the game. And look, Oates said after, there was an exact quote. He told Field of 68, quote, we decided to start switching everything in the second half. It stagnated what Illinois was trying to do. That's the whole entire game. And to me, Illinois' only plan against the switches was Andre go get 30. I'm telling you right now, there will be other teams that try to do this that will not do it as well as Alabama because they don't have the athletes. They won't be able to do this. But there's a formula that's now out here that works. Like the Illinois version that is way more dangerous is one that is playing through the plus passers and has shooters everywhere. And Wagler's making plays because he's involved. And obviously Big T needs to be a big part of this. They're better when Big T's involved. But it's just the one-dimensional Andre's going to get 30. That's Cal ball. It is. And it's great. He's amazing at it. That's what teams are going to try and do to beat Illinois right now. And I give credit to Oates because it worked. It was a flawless game plan that they executed perfectly.
Yeah, and well, here's the thing where because I agree with it to a certain extent, I would say. Um, I'm also looking at the other guys. So I don't want to give them the cop out of just standing and watching. You got to make layups, man.
For
Truly. And
sure.
look, I get the shots portion of it, but also like Ben on Rickhouse is a 40% three-point shooter this season. He had great looks. You hope he hits those. He still ends up 3 for 7. I know they came late. I know all of them were basically wide open. He's gonna hit more so than those than he usually does, right?
Yeah,
But like
if you don't like the Rickhouse shots, I disagree so much with that. He's shooting 38% on the season right now, and I understand a couple of those were in garbage time. He's definitely bigger. He has improved his body. He looks like a good player this year. You need some guys on the floor that just space the floor for the ball dominant guys in this team. And as you go through the list, everyone else besides Ben and Davis, who I agree we probably shouldn't play right now, needs the ball. Like you
yeah,
want to incorporate Petro into this? He needs the ball.
right.
You want Merck doing things? He needs the ball. Andre has to have the ball. Like there's only so much ball. This works so much better if you have somebody who will just stand in the corner and provide value. And you cannot phase Ben out of the team entirely. In this game, he got good looks. He missed some. He still goes 3 for 8, and people are like, we should never play him again.
Yeah, and honestly I thought it worked in the in the second half. I thought that Stoyakovich could have been. Obviously, I know he was cooking, but like in the first half, he was able to space the floor. He had two threes in the first half, and it came off like him actually being like a spot up guy and letting somebody else create for him in that situation, like a Kylan or something like that. But um, I guess like with this, it was just frustrating to watch. To me, it was guys laying it up like they wanted to be fouled,
Yeah, it was
and
soft.
it was soft. Like, and it's you are, both of his are 7 feet tall. Merkovich is a physical specimen. He's 6'8", like what, 250? That layup that he shot that he missed, that was a complete I'm scared layup. That's really what it was. And that threw off the whole rest of his second half. But I mean, to that point, I guess Illinois had to do that because of how others were playing, but it's not the best version of Illinois. And even outside of that, even with all that going on, just make your free throws and you win this game.
Yeah, right. Like there was a lot going on that we didn't love from Illinois in the second half, especially whether you agree or disagree with my view of what they were stagnating offensively. Um, but also, man, last note on this. This also happened in the first half, right? Andre started 5 for 5 from the floor. It was like, oh shit, this is an Andre game. But to your point, I thought in those first five, weren't they like all largely within the flow? Like he was getting out in transition. He had
Mhm.
the catch and shoot corner three. Like in the hot start for Andre, I don't think it was like dribble, dribble, pound, pound, beat a switch one-on-one Andre. It was more in everyone's we're making the right play and Andre is the recipient of it.
Mhm.
And then they were like, oh shit, Andre hasn't missed. Let's run everything through him. And then Illinois scored 6 points in the next 11 minutes of the first half. Like I thought both big stretches of stagnation in this game, first half and second half, were largely when they were trying to play that way. And it still led to a marvelous game from Andre. This is not Andre's fault. Like Andre did what was asked of him flawlessly. He's a bucket and he's a fun bucket. I'm like in awe of how good he is as an isolation scorer. It's just that is very one dimensional compared to how Illinois plays at their best, in my opinion. And that's what Oates wanted, and he got it. Um, Past that now to the second half stuff. Merck, I thought he was brilliant in the first half. I thought he was a disaster and uninvolved in the second half. What was your take on what happened?
Yeah, look, I think that, I wish I had a more like nuanced kind of statement on this, but he just kind of no-showed the second half, truly, on both ends of the floor, might I add too. I didn't think that. He rebounded as well as he usually does in the first half. I thought that there was guys from Alabama beating him to the ball. He looked a step slow. I thought he missed a lot of really good looks. Also, like, you know, I think in an ideal world, I want Merck catching the ball in a post up kind of setting. I don't necessarily like the whole, I get you want to like attack a closeout and things like that, but like Merck, once he gets to a certain amount of dribbles, I'm like, okay, I think this could go bad in this dribble setting. I like him more so in that mid post. He's backing down. He's got 2 to 3, maybe max 4 dribbles, score basketball or pass, drop off, do something like that. He can do that. But I just thought that I just thought he kind of no-showed the second half, really. I thought he missed layups and I thought he missed his three-point attempts.
Yeah, I
And then
missed
just
his free
bad
throw
and
too.
missed his free throw, bad on the defensive. I mean, it was a no-show on both ends, every aspect of the game, second half,
Yeah.
really what it was.
He was going through it, and like even if I want to draw the correlation, because he's not the only one that no showed. Wagler gave you nothing in the second half. Big Z gave you nothing in the second half. Humrickhouse made a couple late, but he was bad for most of the second half. Like I would argue, every player that wasn't Andre and then Kylan in the final 10 minutes was non-existent for Illinois. I do believe there's at least a slight correlation to the offense stagnating and just the lack of rhythm that this team was playing with. If you don't agree with that, that's fine. It's not the entire reason. Even if I sit here saying that's part of the reason, Merck needs to make a layup. Like, there were just obvious, easy opportunities that were failed in this game, even despite the lack of rhythm that frustrated me. And it was weird to see because Merck is so good. Like, I love him. He's so good. He's so dominant. And
Yeah, it's weird because it's like he's a physical player. Like he is a physical player and he can be physical. He wasn't playing strong in the second half. I thought he was looking for foul calls, or he's missing layups. Honestly, it was borderline flopping around in the second half trying to get some calls. And he doesn't have to do that. He
right.
doesn't. And also like once he missed that layup, you also saw the life just come out of his face a little
Yeah.
bit. And look, he's an 18-year-old kid, he's a freshman. You know what? We watched Cam Boozer do the same thing in the first half of a basketball game. I'm not saying like those are two players. I'm saying talented players do this. He's an 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid. It's just unfortunate that it happened in this setting because you get anything like when I'm looking at why they should have won this game, you make your free throws, you get anything from Merck in the second half, you win.
Well, and, I mean, it was weird because he was so good in the first half. I think he was.
Right.
I was messaging about. I think he was on pace for like 20, 14, and 4, and
Yeah.
then he just didn't score in the second half, and his rebounding was down too. Now look, it was a disaster half to still spit out a double double with 4 assists, a block, and 3 steals to 1 turnover while playing basically 20 completely empty minutes. To me, I think that speaks to what Merck is. Like, even at his worst, he's one of the most productive players in the country. But I keep coming back. Like, the version of Illinois that I think is highest ceiling, highest floor, everything, just best, has Merck doing a lot more than he did in the second half. And he has to earn it. He has to be better. Part of this was definitely he was disengaged and soft, and for the first time in his career, I think struggling going through it. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I'm infinitely less afraid of Illinois the less involved that Merck gets. I don't think that's a crazy thing to say. You and I do disagree on this. I know we both agree he's a great player and all that. He's like my favorite player ever. Not trying to paint you as a hater. I know I've called you that, but the thing you and I disagree on here is like the way he reads things. I think he's a basketball genius. You are worried about his decision making. Is that the correct way to frame it?
It's like I don't even know it's his decision making because I think he makes the right choice. I just think he can be erratic in his decision making.
I
That's
think
all.
he
Like to me, it's like once he gets to a certain point, I think there's like to me, I would like to limit Merck's dribbles.
okay. See, I still think good things happen, even if he's like overdriven. It might look a little weird, but
Yeah,
to me, he's a little over ambitious at times, but I think the most creative basketball geniuses are. Like that, there really is like the Draymondy, Jokic, and he's not those guys, but like I just, I don't know. I can live with Merck like trying some kind of crazy things. Like those hook passes that he makes are like the highest level reads I think you can make. In this game, 4 assists to 1 turnover. At minimum, I don't think it was a problem in this game. It might have been in previous ones, but I don't know. Do you feel different on that?
Uh, I don't
Like
know. I
what's
think I'm
what
just my
specifically felt sped up to you in this game?
well. It's not like a turnover issue to me. I think it's like rushing, trying to do something offensively. Like that's why I think that's what's leading to him being inefficient. Like in the two games that he's played, one was against Texas Tech and then one was against Alabama. I think he struggled to make shots. And I think a little bit of that is that he can get sped up. He can get erratic.
Yeah,
Like even in the second half, a lot of his layups, I thought he was speeding up. I don't know.
I just think he blew a layup. I don't know. I think he can play sped up, to be honest. And maybe I'm wrong, but I thought he just missed opportunities in this game. Same as Texas Tech. I didn't think he was out of control. He's got to be better. He's got to figure it out. And maybe this is who he'll be against quality opponents. Like again, I don't think it's a nightmare performance, but in the second half it was. In the second half, like, but to me, the second half, the issue wasn't he was bad. It was he was uninvolved.
Okay, I thought he was bad.
I think it was both. But like
I
I
think
think
saying he's uninvolved makes an excuse for him being awful in the second half.
I think he used 2 possessions in the second half and he blew a layup and got to the free throw line and missed a free throw. I would like him to
Also,
use 12 possessions a half, not 2.
he was also awful on the defensive end.
Yeah, everybody was. On that note, should we move to his front court companion in this game?
Good Lord.
So to me, there's a different alternate universe where we're breaking this down, and I think we lead with this. For whatever reason, he's kind of just getting away with it. Big Z was a disaster here. Three
Well,
and three.
you know what this is, Greg.
What is it?
I think I'm an expert on this one. He's me. It's people I think just chalk it up. He's just Big T's brother. Whatever you get from him, you get from him. Just Card being Card, just Big Z being Big Z.
I mean, he didn't rebound. He was chucking from three and made 1 of 4. He blew a touch on the block that should have been a layup that he turned into a fadeaway. Um, Missed both free throws. Did not block a shot. Like this, and we called it out, right? Big Z is either amazing or terrible. There's not really much in between. This was terrible, Big Z, and again, a terrible Big Z against an Alabama front court that, quite frankly, stinks. Like Big Z's good enough to dominate this front court. In fact, I
Yeah.
think in his career he has dominated Alabama a couple times.
Do you think it's fair to say there was too many threes from the front court in general?
I think that's what they want, but I don't know. I again, even Big Z, I liked his threes. I thought they were open, and he can hit
He came
those.
out gunning, boy.
He did.
Also, this man tried to take off from 5 feet outside the paint and punch on somebody, which he's just Big Z. I wonder what goes on in his head. I really want to get some thoughts on that. And then he proceeds to miss the layup. Like one of the biggest starts of how the second half tone was going to be set in this game is Big T misses a three, I believe it was. Then he catches it in the corner, has a good pump fake, goes to try to dunk it, misses it. I'm all for going up strong, honestly, in this case. I'm with that. Misses a free throw, misses a second free throw. Then next possession, they switch. Right cell was on him, and they throw it down to him, and you're just like, go up, go finish. And he like stopped, thought, faded, smoked the layup. They came down and got an and one on the other end. It was like as much as we talk about like Merck and things like that, Merck's also a freshman. You would hope that Big Z in this case would have a little bit more, vettiness to him, but at the same time, it's Big Z.
I mean, Z might as well be a freshman. That's how I'm going to view him always. Like he'll be fifth year senior, and he's going to make freshman mistakes. It's Big Z. I still think his ceiling's been elevated at Illinois. Look, in his last 2 games against Alabama, he had 27 and 7 and a Ken Pom MVP last year. He had 18 and 5 against Bama the year before. He's been amazing against Bama in his career. This was a no-show, and it's back-to-back no-shows. Game before this against Colgate in 16 minutes, he had 3 and 1, did not attempt a shot from inside the arc. So in 32 minutes across his last two games, he's attempted one 2-point shot, is 0 for 2 from the free throw line. He's not rebounding. He has 4 rebounds in 32 minutes. It's not good. And again, it doesn't seem like there's much rhyme or reason to it. Like this is kind of the story of Big Z's career. Next game he'll probably have 24 and 8, and we'll be like, damn, that was amazing.
He
But
should he should honestly be an Alabama player.
he should. He'd be a great system fit there.
Like he'd be perfect there.
They need the good of Isich back ASAP.
Yes.
And
ASAP.
he's clearly.
Hurt.
Were you surprised he played?
Once I saw him playing, yes.
I kind of can't believe they played him. I mean,
Once I saw
I
how one
can. We want to win, but like he's hurt.
he's hurt. They also they might have felt like their hand was forced too. Like with how the other front court players couldn't hold it down whatsoever.
Yeah, Alabama was also like going small the whole game though.
Yeah, but Big T looked incredibly slow and hurt and
Yeah.
not in game shape.
Yeah, I would not rush this back if it's going to look like that. Maybe next game it changes. Maybe it's just getting his feet underneath him. But this they brought him back a lot earlier than any of us expected. I think Brad after the game was just like, well, he hasn't done anything. Like he's totally out of shape. It's like, then yeah, why is he playing? Like let's get him doing some things first. I don't really get it. It is hard to like you can't be too mad about this because I still Big T's their best player. It's hard for me to envision what this team looks like with a full strength Big T. Do you kind of get that feel too?
Yeah, I wonder what it looks like, but I guess in my head, like you just have him spacing out, like spacing the floor,
Like
like
is he just getting the Humrick house shots, but it's Big T instead?
maybe I also think you're doing some more ball screen stuff with him and Kylan.
Yeah.
But also he's probably just he might be spacing the floor and watching Andre.
Like that's on Andre nights, he's gonna be in the corner, but you're happy with that because he's better than Rickhouse.
Can I say one more thing about the Andre thing too?
Yeah.
So I saw some people trying to do the whole Damask thing. Like that's the here's the thing, Andre, I don't think they want him to pass because I legit think that he can't.
He
I
can.
think he would have had 8 turnovers if he was asked to pass in his basketball game.
Yeah.
It's just
But
not. He just. It's not what he cannot do it. You don't want to ask him to do that. But in an ideal world, I think Avicic is spacing the floor, um, and maybe being the guy that's getting those shots.
yeah. Yeah. I think you're right. I mean, look, when Andre he had one really, really good pass to Rickhouse out of the booty ball and he hit the guy in the corner. Now it also was like a pass that was there 10 seconds earlier and he took 4 dribbles before making it, but like he made it and Rickhouse missed a three off it. It's one of those things truly when you watch him, like it's noticeable when he makes a good pass, which is not great. Like if every time he makes a good pass, you're like, wow. It's just not great. And he's not anything like Damask. He's a way better scorer. Again, I feel like I'm coming across as such a Stoyakovich hater and a negative guy. He was Illinois' best player in this game. He almost damn near won this game by himself on a night where nobody else was good. I love watching him. I really do. I just think there are flaws here. And passing or the inability to play make is one of them because the booty ball stuff with the mask was just a lot more dangerous when you had the threat of him kicking out. And you do not have that with Andre. You're not going to have that with Andre. We'll see how this adjusts as the season goes on. Maybe it'll get better, but it was something to watch in this game. What else?
I want to say this too. They could have also went away from Andre a little bit more if Boz was better before. Like, I thought he did a lot towards the end there with a lot of layups, but he too was part of the issue as far as missing layups in that second half and not necessarily uh, being at his best, I think,
Yeah.
earlier. I think he did a lot late in this one when they were kind of letting him go for layups in a sense.
Yeah.
Um, he probably could have been better, which is why they, you know what, one thing is me silver lining with this. I feel like they went to Andre and the play style they went as like a okay, nothing's working. Let's just go to this.
Yeah, I struggle with that because I think things were working before they went all in on this. I thought the Illinois offense was operating at a pretty high level in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
And
Well,
also Andre
no, but
was scoring
I'm just
within the
saying in the
flow.
second half, it was going bad. It wasn't operating well, so they went to Andre.
I think they were going to Andre from the jump in the second half. We'd have to watch it back, but yeah, I mean, one thing we can all agree on: the offense was not humming. And
Sorry.
sorry, didn't even mean to do that. Petro, we haven't touched on Petro at all. The Mihailo Petrovic debut here. He had the pretty nasty, like, pop, pop, bang, look to the bench. I think he did this to the bench. He's like, I kind of liked it. 5 assists to 1 turnover. I had to do a double take at that because I just point blank did not realize he had 5 assists in 12 minutes watching this game live. I mean, he passed the eye test in terms of like what he's billed as a legitimate floor general. I also think he did not pass the eye test as 6'2". That's the
Absolutely not.
biggest lie ever. This
So he
guy's like
looks.
5'9".
Do you think it's a an issue that he's just around a bunch of tall Illinois guys, and that's why he
No,
looks as small as he does?
he's listed at the same height as Kylan Boswell, and he's 6 inches shorter than Kylan. I'm serious.
He does look small.
I am dead serious. He is not the same size, not even close to Kylan
Yeah,
Boswell. They're both listed as 6'2".
he's
So
also 100 pounds less.
yeah. I mean, but if we want to talk about like, oh damn, the offense stagnated, it didn't with Petro in the game.
Yeah, it had me. Obviously, I think liabilities come on the defensive end and maybe with some other things given his size. But like Greg, to your point, if you want like passy lineup, like Petro, Boz, Wagler, Merck, healthy Big T, a lot of floor spacing, a lot of ball movement in that lineup, could be something.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this evolves because kind of like I touched on earlier, I think this team is full of guys that are most special with the ball in their hands. Like if you talk like what's best for Tom Ivisic? Him with the ball making reads and plays from the top. What's best for Keaton, I think, is like get him the ball, get him a screen, get him downhill. I think what's best for Andre is clearly let him score and do whatever he wants. What's best for anyone, Merck, he needs the ball. Like Petro, if you're going to use Petro's making the plays. So I'm pretty curious to see how they do this. The one thing I would say, you look at this roster, to me, what makes this team special is at 4 of the top 5 spots, they're plus passers. Like everybody I just named outside of Andre is like an elite passer for their position. So there's a way to make this work where Illinois is like one of the highest assist rate teams in the country. And then there's also like we're forced into going 1-on-1 and Andre's going to get 30 and we're not going to use that at all. So I don't know. I know people can hear where I'm at on this, but to me, there's a world where this Illinois team is the best passing team in the country. Petro's a pretty key part of it, I think, if that comes to fruition. But at the same time, like whose minutes are you taking away to give Petro a bigger role here?
I don't.
You can't take anything from Wagler, I don't think.
No,
So is it all on Rickhouse?
probably.
26 for Ben in this game.
Yeah, that's probably yeah, that's probably it. Yeah,
That's
probably it.
probably it. But I don't even love that because I think Ben's been good and you need a floor spacer in this rotation.
So, can I ask you if one thing? So, what is this Illinois team as a free throw shooting team? Because they have 2 games this year where they've gone like 89% shooting like 23 free throws. Like Merck went 8 for 8 in the game from free throws.
I think they're a great free throw shooting team. I think they just missed a bunch tonight.
It's really what it is.
I really, personnel wise, I think they're a great free throw shooting team.
See, I'm trying to equate it though. A lot of it is, well, like Merck's been good from the free throw line. Also, Keaton Wagler is really good from the free throw line a lot of games and gets to the free throw line.
Yeah, Wagler's an amazing free throw shooter. He was 3 from 5. I mean the only guy, again, I feel like I'm just beating a dead horse here. The only guy I don't think is a good free throw shooter is Andre, and I am not surprised Andre went 2 for 5. He has a full season on display on his resume of shooting 50% from the line. Now he was great from the line last year on a lot higher volume, so I think even he can make them. But like the Ivisiches are good shooters. I don't know what Merck is. Merck's probably a question mark. Boz and Wagler are great free throw shooters in my opinion, or should be.
They
So
also they should have got to the free throw line more in this basketball game.
yeah,
You're too like the you too you're too dominant. I think you should be too dominant physically to not only shoot. I mean, they shot less free throws than Bama, and Bama never gets to the line.
yeah. Just
So
back to my opening premise. Bama held up and played even with Illinois in the areas they weren't supposed to.
yeah,
They got free points at the line and made their free throws, and they matched them on the boards, and neither one of those two were supposed to happen. So, in that sense, you give your credit to Alabama, but maybe to conclude this, the one thing I would say, like part of the talking point to me coming out of this is like, well, Alabama just, they got embarrassed on the boards against Purdue and, they spent a week watching film. This was an inspired effort from them. This is still the team that got punked on the boards by Purdue. There's no reason Illinois shouldn't have been able to do that.
yeah, that's fair. And the
Again,
one that my last thing. This is an incredible rebounding team. Merkovich is one of the best rebounders in the sport. Kylan's one of the better rebounding guards in the sport. You also, like, I think as a team, got to be ready for the challenge with everybody else because honestly, I thought that physically, effort wise, in the second half, Bama was a step faster and quicker to a lot of things
yeah,
than Illinois. And quite frankly, they just look slow in the second half. They look slow.
yeah, yeah, agreed. Did they look another S word to you?
Soft in the second half? Yes.
I texted you. I This is tough for me because I really, truly, and I mean this, I don't feel really any different about this Illinois team after this game. I think Bama was good. This is not a scary loss to me at all. I had them as my national runner-up to Arizona coming into this game. I'm not changing a thing coming out of this game. With that said, I texted you in the middle of this like they're looking mighty European in the paint right now.
Hmm.
And I do think in terms of just identity, one thing that was lacking from this game was just a physicality. And Merck is really physical. I think Merck is the guy that kind of disrupts this, but even he was soft in this half. The Ivisiches are not that. They're not going to be that.
No, Bristow got that tried to rip the ball, got that jump balls right into this. Like they credit to Bama, they smelled something, and they acted on that in the second half. And while they were doing that, Illinois was missing free throws and looking directly at the ref,
Yeah.
like it looked like guys thinking about it, guys going up for layups, hoping to get fouled instead of just going and making it,
Yeah. Keaton looked like a
which
freshman.
which
Ke-
which makes you soft.
Keaton looked like a freshman. Andre is a guy that can hold up physically well. Defensively, I thought he was very soft in this game. So yeah, I don't know what you do with it. Like this might just be who they are. And I think we've seen teams that are not the most I don't even know what you call because I don't think this team lacks physicality. I just think
This is what it is. This is what it is, G. I'll equate it to this, right? I think Kentucky is legit soft. Like they
yes.
played soft because they are soft.
Yes.
Illinois is not soft. They just played soft.
Yeah, it might be more like in here sometimes.
Yeah, like it's
Little.
it's their play. Like if they are soft, you're not fixing that. They're just soft.
finesse. They
It's yeah,
they would be high on my list of teams that is going to be like looking at the refs every game, which was a trait of last year's team too. Like every game, we're why are we getting our calls instead of just like putting our heads down and playing through it?
yeah.
They gotta change that. They gotta change that, and I don't know if they will. Am I allowed to do one thing? This might be the only time I say it all year. I thought they could have used Merez here, and Merck is better than Merez, but like we're sitting here talking about how this team had no rim protection, no physicality, no toughness in this game. I got a guy who's that every second he's on the floor. Like, and again, they would not trade him. They don't want him back, but the roster lacks that right now. So I found myself thinking that in the second half, fresh off of watching Michigan and Merez, I thought was really physical in that game. To this, Illinois was missing that.
Yeah, might have been nice to have both.
Right. Could have could have theoretically been both if you manage it right. But anyways, okay. Feel like I had one more thing on this. Um Couple quick Brad hitters. I think we're gonna do a couple short videos on this today too, but quick Brad hitters from the post game. He said he loved the shots. And then he also, in a different answer, was like, yeah, we really stagnated. But he said he loved the shots. Do you think you should love the shots if you're an Illinois fan coming out of this game?
Uh, I mean, yes. Yeah, I think yes. I think yes. I think that there were some. I think there were some good looks that were missed. There were some layups that were missed. I'm not. I'm not necessarily mad about the looks. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't want less threes, that's for sure. The guys that missed open threes in this game, I think should keep shooting them.
Yeah.
So I guess I agree with him in that sense. My algorithm was cracking me up this morning because the first thing I opened my timeline to this morning was back-to-back tweets. One of Dan Hurley's comments after UConn's loss, and then one of Brad Underwood's comments after Illinois' loss. Do you know where I'm going with this?
No, which way? What was it?
So Hurley loses to Arizona, and
Uh,
his exact quote was
was it a street fight one?
kind of there was a different one that was basically like I'm pissed as shit. We blew a chance to beat a team. Like we blew a game against a top 5 opponent.
Hmm.
I'm gonna lose sleep. I'm gonna wake up at 2 in the morning and realize this is real. Like all he is we blew that, I'm pissed. Brad Underwood, after losing to Alabama, had a moment where he was like, in the pregame, I was standing there with O and, just kind of realizing how far we've come because 7 years ago, I scheduled a game in this arena and there was nobody there. And, O told me just to appreciate this. And this was really cool. So you've got the championship program that defines themselves by these games and it's pissed they lost. And then you've got Brad Underwood just soaking in the moment of selling out a game they lost to Nate Oates.
Damn it! I don't like your algorithm, but that
I
ain't it.
I love Brad, but if you can't like I don't know, man. We've got people in our Discord talking about Brett Bielema and statues. Like 8-4 is the bar. It's sometimes it
I,
just feels like just be good university, you
I
know?
will say something about like taking a loss in a game that you is kind of at home basically, and you could have won, and then hitting the aw shucks afterwards. Can't wait! Can't believe I'm here. Doesn't necessarily make me all happy inside.
Well, he's right too. It's really cool. That place was packed with Illinois fans. Brad Underwood has completely rejuvenated the Illinois fan base. He deserves flowers for that. But
Winning that game would have been really, really cool.
yeah, just I don't want to be just be good university. I want to be a champ
The
at some point.
standard's the standard.
Yes. So again, that blame my algorithm. Don't blame me for that. I was cackling at those back to back this morning. Final words. Anything you got, Cart? Wrap us up here.
Really good win for Alabama. One that as an Illinois player, you're probably looking at yourself like, damn, we left a lot out there and didn't play our best. And that's what happens when you don't play up to your ability against good basketball teams. They're able to get you.
Yeah. I'm not worried about Illinois at all. I'm not shifting my perspective of this. I think they did a lot of things wrong. They're going to figure out the half court offense stuff. but Alabama just earned this one, and that's okay. It was only a matter of time before one of those games comes around.